Welcome back. It's still Hard Facts, 92.3 Nigeria Info. Sam Chinedu here. This is our final conversation for Hard Facts today, and we are going the way of finance and tech, or fintech. That's what the combination makes up. But the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has directed all points of sale, that's POS terminals, in the country to be geo-tagged within 60 days as part of measures to curb fraud and strengthen oversight of digital payments. This initiative is designed to ensure that all POS terminals are traceable and that transactions are secure. Terminals operating outside their registered location will be flagged and non-compliant devices will be deactivated. The CBN said in a statement dated August 26, 2025, obtained by Newsmen, that the directive requires all existing and newly deployed POS devices to have native geolocation features and double-frequency GPS receivers for accurate tracking. Terminals failing to comply with the October 20, 2025 deadline will no longer be allowed to operate. The bank explained that the move will help eliminate ghost or cloned terminals and enable real-time monitoring of transactions. Now that is what the news says. If you have any question or concern, then you're thinking well, because naturally, this should raise lots of questions. Well, my guest is somebody who plays in the technological space, fintech and all the kinds of tech. He's Uche Anichie. He's a tech and innovation ecosystem leader, and you might know him from Startup South. He's a convener of that movement. Hello, Uche. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Geo-Tagging, for having me.
Yes, it's always a pleasure. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well.
All right.
Thank you.
Now, before we talk about the technicalities, let me just pick your brains. On a surface level, what do you make of this policy?
Sometimes my position is a bit mixed, right?
Okay.
On the one hand, there is a need to curb criminality. You know. On the other hand, I'm asking myself, is this the best solution that can be?
Okay.
You know, because when you say that you're geo-tagging POS systems, that's fine. Geo-tagging means that you are recording the geolocation part, the coordinates where that POS system is being used at times. That's what it's supposed to mean in plain English.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, then go ahead and say that POS operating outside of their geotag, you know, their geolocation or their you know, documented geolocation will be deactivated. Now, you're introducing a complexity, a layer of complexity, which is it's an anti-inclusion, or rather, it's anti-inclusion, right?
Yeah.
Remember that one of the things that the POS system has done is to deepen financial inclusion.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you're saying that if I have a POS in Port Harcourt and I go to my village, right?
Yeah.
And I take it to my village, it should be activated because I took the POS I registered in Port Harcourt to my village. You get my point.
I do completely.
So I'm just wondering, if they accuse to curb crime or fraud, as a case may be, is this enough reason to want to introduce that level of complexity that becomes the entire objective that CBN has worked on for several years?
Okay.
I guess I will leave it at this first.
Yes, I completely understand. So your analogy basically, or better yet, what the government is proposing, I mean, you just did an explanation, is treating the POS devices like real estate fixed to a piece of land.
Exactly.
Yeah, that you cannot move from that location. Kind of like our studio, this building. Whenever you come here, you always find Wazobia info. But
yeah, and I'm wondering why they want you a mobile device.
okay, so that defeats the mobility. But let's look at the problem they are trying to solve, right? While this might not be the best way to go about it, as you've said, how severe is fraud connected to POS transactions?
So the Oracle, I'm not sure I have the data, right, in order to to properly
paint a picture. Yeah.
Picture the severity. However, I know that there's been a lot of cases of people using POS to defraud others.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I've also heard of cases where people had, like in the case of kidnapping case, right?
Yeah.
Where POS was, brought, and the people had to use the POS to remove money.
Yeah.
Using the cards to remove money from people's accounts, right?
Yeah.
I've had quite a number of those cases. I've also had cases where the POS agents themselves are the ones, you come to withdraw money, you finish withdrawing, you withdraw from your account for themselves, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that the cases people have, I don't know how true those things are, but they are there all the same. People are telling those stories all the same, right? So I will not have the data to know the volume, okay?
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that whatever the case is, there are better solutions.
Okay. So
mainly because the people that I think get the major flack of this have other options. The people that we're trying to then limit, have fewer options. I believe that there are better solutions to this. Geo-Tagging, I'm not against Geo-Tagging. Geo-Tagging is okay. To the extent that you can identify where a transaction occurred.
Yeah.
Yeah? That is okay. So you can employ dynamic Geo-Tagging that allows you to know a time where a transaction is happening. And if you say, and you can trace the POS based on the coordinates where this POS is being used at any point in time. Right?
Yeah.
If the POS has the ability to do that, why then do you want to include this, what I consider obnoxious layer of complexity that requires the POS to be in one location? If the POS has the ability for Geo-Tagging in the first instance, then it means that you can trace that POS at any point in time, at least to the last place where it was used. And if it's ever used again, you should be able to know where it was used. Right? So I'm not sure why there has to be, tied to a specific location. I think that's where I have challenge.
Well, I know that the POS, like mobile phones, there is a reception of data, because it uses data for those transactions. So for tracking of the devices per se, I'm not quite sure how the hardware works, but it very likely should be trackable. But if it's not, then this might just be an opportunity for an organization to get a contract to start producing POSs that are compliant to the geo-tagging policy. And I guess it's money going somewhere.
I don't think so. That's not how it works, right? You are right. You're right when you say that POS, like mobile devices, they're like mobile devices actually, especially the modern POS. Okay, they use SIM cards and they use data.
Yeah.
Right. To transmit. So they use SIM cards especially.
Yeah.
And they use data to connect to the internet to make transactions.
Yeah.
So iPhones, it can be tracked. All right?
Yeah.
So I think this is just a case of meta data collection, right?
Okay.
It might even be a case of CBN just requiring the issuers to mandatorily collect that metadata, because the metadata will always be there. It's not, I don't say, I can tell you for free that there's nothing new that needs to be done, right? The system, just like your mobile phone, is keeping record of where you are, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is just a case of CBN telling the producers and the issuers that you should capture the metadata that relates to the geolocation of the device at time in your database.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I do completely.
Now, when you do that, and you ask them to do that, then the other bit about asking them to be in location is to make it easier for them to come and apprehend the person with the report, right? And I think that's just because some people are trying to be lazy. You understand what I mean?
I do.
So in trying to be lazy, you effectively compare with the human rights, right? Just because you're lazy. Because to a large extent, I'm not a lawyer, but I think that the lawyers can look into this. There may be some level of
infringement.
Human rights infringement, in that directive.
All right.
So
we have to take a break now, and after that break, you'd give us recommendations. What's a better working system? How else should the government, or the CBN rather, have gone about this to still deliver the results they want and more? Please stay with us.